A General Dictionary of the English Language. By Samuel Johnson. Master of Arts. First published in 1755, in 2 volumes. Letter A. From abolishable to abortment. Abolishable. Adjective. From abolish. That which may be abolished. Abolisher. Noun substantive. From abolish. He that abolishes. Abolishment. Noun substantive. From abolish. The act of abolishing. The plain and direct way against us herein had been only to prove that all such ceremonies as they require to be abolished are retained by us with the hurt of the church, or with less benefit than the abolishment of them would bring. Richard Hooker, Book 4. He should therefore think the abolishment of that order among us would prove a mighty scandal and corruption to our faith, and manifestly dangerous to our monarchy. Jonathan Swift, On the Sentiments of a Church of England Man. Abolition. Noun substantive. From abolish. The act of abolishing. This is now more frequently used than abolishment. From the total abolition of the popular power may be dated the ruin of Rome. For had the reducing hereof to its ancient condition, proposed by Agrippa, been accepted instead of Maecenas' model, that state might have continued unto this day. Nehemiah Gruss, Cosmologia Secra, Book 3, Chapter 4. An apoplexy is a sudden abolition of all the senses, external and internal, and of all voluntary motion, by the stoppage of the flux and reflux of the animal spirits through the nerves destined for those motions. John Arbuthnot, On Diet. Abominableness. Noun substantive. From abominable. The quality of being abominable. Hatefulness, odiousness. Till we have proved, in its proper place, the eternal and essential difference between virtue and vice, we must forbear to urge atheists with the corruption and abominableness of their principles. Richard Bentley's Sermons. Abominable. Adjective. Abominabilis, Latin. 1. Hateful, detestable. Returned. Successful beyond hope, to lead thee forth triumphant out of this infernal pit. Abominable, accursed, the house of woe. John Milton, Paradise Lost, Book 10. It is not to be questioned, but the Queen and Ministry might easily redress this abominable grievance by enlarging the number of justices of the peace, by endeavoring to choose men of virtuous principles. Jonathan Swift's Project for the Advancement of Religion. 2. Unclean. The soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean beast, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which pertain unto the Lord, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. The Book of Leviticus, chapter 7, verse 21. 3. In low and ludicrous language. It is a word of loose and indeterminate censure. They say, you are a melancholy fellow. I am so. I do love it better than laughing. Those that are in an extremity of either are abominable fellows, and betray themselves to every modern censure worse than drunkards. William Shakespeare's As You Like It. Abominably. Adverb. From abominable. A word of low or familiar language, signifying excessively, extremely, exceedingly, in the ill sense. Since I have been your wife, I have observed great abuses and disorders in your family. Your servants are mutinous and quarrelsome, and cheat you most abominably. John Arbuthnot's History of John Bull. To abominate. Verb active. Abominer, Latin. To abhor, detest, hate utterly. We are not guilty of your injuries. No way, consent to them, but abhor. Abominate and loathe this cruelty. Thomas Southern's Orinoco. He professed both to abominate and despise all mystery, refinement, and intrigue either in a prince or minister. He could not tell what I meant by secrets of state, where an enemy or some rival nation were not in the case. Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels. Abomination. Noun substantive. 1. Hatred, detestation. As, to have an abomination. To assist King Charles by English or Dutch forces would render him odious to his new subjects, who have nothing in so great abomination as those whom they hold for heretics. Jonathan Swift's Miscellanies. 2. The object of hatred. That ye shall say, thy servant's trade hath been about cattle, from our youth even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. The Book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 34. 3. Pollution, defilement. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, either whatsoever worketh abomination, or mocketh a lie. The Book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 27. Each heart in Rome does love and pity you. Only the adulterous Antony, most large in his abominations, turns you off, and gives his potent regiment to a troll that noses it against us. William Shakespeare, Antony and Cleopatra. 4. The cause of pollution. And the high places that were before Jerusalem, which were on the right hand of the mount of corruption, which Solomon the king of Israel had builded for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Zidonians, and for Chemosh, the abomination of the Moabites, and for Milcom, the abomination of the children of Ammon, did the king defile. Second Book of Kings, chapter 23, verse 13. Aborigines. Noun substantive. Latin. The earliest inhabitants of a country, those of whom no original is to be traced. As, the Welsh in Britain. To abort. Verb neuter. Aborto, Latin. To bring forth, before the time. To miscarry. Dictionary. Abortion. Noun substantive. Abortio, Latin. 1. The act of bringing forth untimely. 2. The produce of an untimely birth. His wife miscarried, but as the abortion proved only a female fetus, he comforted himself that, had it arrived to perfection, it would not have answered his account. John Arbuthnot and Alexander Pope's Martinus Scriblerus. Behold my arm, thus blasted dry and withered, shrunk like a foul abortion and decayed, like some untimely product of the seasons, robbed of its properties of strength and office. Nicholas Rose, Jane Shore. Abortive. Noun substantive. That which is born before the due time. See abortive, adjective. No common wind, no customed event, but they will pluck away its natural causes, and call them meteors, prodigies, and signs, abortives, and presages, tongues of heaven, plainly denouncing vengeance upon John. William Shakespeare, King John. Take the fine skin of an abortive, and with starch thin, laid on, prepare your ground, or tablet. Henry Peacham, on drawing. This is certain, that many are, by this means, preserved, and do signal service to their country, who, without such a provision, might have perished as abortives, or have come to an untimely end, and perhaps have brought upon their guilty parents the like destruction. Joseph Addison, Guardian, number 106. Abortive. Adjective. Abortivus, Latin. 1. That which is brought forth before the due time of birth. If ever he have a child, abortive be it. Prodigious and untimely, brought to light. William Shakespeare, Richard III. All the unaccomplished works of nature's hand. Abortive, monstrous, or unkindly mixed. Dissolved on earth, fleet hither. John Milton, Paradise Lost, Book 3, line 456. 2. Figuratively, that which fails for want of time. This is the true cause. Why so many politic conceptions, so elaborately formed and wrought, and grown at length ripe for delivery, do yet, in the issue, miscarry, and prove abortive. Robert South's Sermons. False hopes. He cherishes, nor will his fruit expect. The autumnal season, but, in summer's pride, when other orchards smile, abortive fail. John Phillips. How often hast thou waited at my cup, fed from my trencher, kneeled down at the board, when I have feasted with Queen Margaret. Remember it, and let it make thee crestfallen. Ay, and allay this thy abortive pride. William Shakespeare, Henry VI, Part 2. 3. That which brings forth nothing. These past, if any pass, the void profound of unessential night, receives him next, wide gaping, and with utter loss of being, threatens him, plunged in that abortive gulf. John Milton's Paradise Lost, Book 2, line 451. Abortively. Adverb. From abortive. Born without the due time. Immaturely, untimely. Abortiveness. Noun substantive. From abortive. The state of abortion. Abortment. Noun substantive. From abort. The thing brought forth out of time. An untimely birth. I shall not, then, doubt the happy issue of my undertakings in this design, whereby concealed treasures, which now seem utterly lost to mankind, shall be confined to so universal a piety, and brought into use by the industry of converted penitents, whose wretched carcasses the impartial laws have, or shall, dedicate as untimely feasts to the worms of the earth, in whose womb those deserted mineral riches must ever lie, buried as lost abortments, unless those be made the active midwives to deliver them. Francis Bacon's Physical Remains. Next page begins with above. Original source text is in the public domain. This audio recording, including AI-assisted narration, restoration, and editorial structure is copyrighted 2026 by Musafolios. All rights reserved. Abolishable. 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 Abolisher. 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 Abolishment. 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 Abolition. 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 Abominableness. 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 Abominable. 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 Abominably. 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 Abominate. 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 Abomination. 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 Aborigines. 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 Abort. 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 Abortion. 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 Abortive. 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 Abortively. 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 Abortiveness. 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 Abortment. Abortment. Abortment.